Ladies and gents, Smitty at the shop, all the way in the back. Just a quick clip here to explain this video. This video is from a year ago. It's currently February 23. This is from February of 22. This stuff is falling out of trees. It's been a super mild winter. Last year was not so much the case. We had probably the worst ice storm we've ever had in Ulster County. And caused a whole bunch of damage in the area, including at the shop. So that's just what this some of this footage is. I was just going through old stuff and said, what the heck, let me post this up. It's sitting here doing nothing. So without further ado, for your viewing pleasure, February 22 storm damage. Oh yeah, it's cold in here. What the frig? Oh God, I'm looking for a burst of water somewhere. Radio must have come on. All right, not the end of the world. So my plan this morning was to show all the carnage outside that happened from this ice storm, but I got some bigger carnage going on inside. Just got off the phone with the water department. They're gonna come shut me off at the street. Looks like one of the pipes froze. Despite having the water off, it's the main feed that comes into the building, so nothing I can do. They're gonna have to shut it off from, it's actually the shut off is on the street behind me. So in the meantime, we're pretty quickly filling up with water over here. Stay tuned. And believe it or not, that little puddle right there is gonna be issue number 2. That's my, feed line to my water heater and everything else. Something froze back there because shouldn't be water on the floor there. So looks like we're going to be spending the next couple days chiseling concrete and plumbing. Yeah, well, they're saying possibly one of the worst ice storms Ulster County has ever seen. Possibly ever. Surf is up at Smitty's shop. Their water department was just here. They have a torch and a metal detector, and they're out on the back road there trying to find my shutoff. And as frustrating as it is for those guys, I'm sure, and it's disappointing for me. Having just come from Mexico, I'm thankful that I have clean municipal water that I can drink on a daily basis. We'll get this shut off, and then we'll take a look outside and see what kind of damage we have out there. So really the only concern, obviously it doesn't bother cars or anything like that. My only concern at this point would be, if it fills up too much, and I don't know that that's ever happened. I mean, I've pressure washed the inside of this place. I had this pipe burst about 15 years ago. Right up there by the battery charger. If it goes much further, it'll get into the office. But I think it'll move before that. Ground is frozen, so the drains in the floor will not work. I mean, they'll take a little bit, but not enough. We're just gonna keep an eye over there, make sure that doesn't creep up to the wall. Glug, glug, glug. I feel bad for those guys. They're out there. They are having a heck of a time finding the shutoff. Primarily because it's under a layer of ice and snow. But they'll get it off soon enough, and then the cleanup will start. See what we can do to prevent that from happening again. Let's take a walk outside. Well, water's been flowing pretty steady for about an hour and a half now. Just trying to keep it away from the office, brooming it out the overhead door. Of course, we got a good 1.5 to 2 inches of water on the back end here. That's working its way out the sidewall. They have found the shutoff. They say it appears to be non-functioning, meaning it's damaged. So we're waiting to see what kind of update we got there. A little bit after 8 o'clock in the morning now. So, yeah, it's been flowing about an hour and a half. Let's take a walk outside and look at some damage out there. Well, it's that morning after regret. Those are the trees I was really concerned about because I got the Airstream parked right under them and the Avion. They're leaning away from the building now. I mean, worst case, that front-facing one would take out the shed, which has two Harleys in it, but that's all insured. I lost the top of the tree next to the lightning tree. Not a huge deal. A couple limbs there. These are just sagging. And I think it was the first video I posted about the John Deere skid steer that I bought on Marketplace. I pointed out a really, 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 really tall tree that was going to have to go. It went. The problem with these trees is, even the ones that are still standing, is they're grown into the side of that rock wall there. And they just don't have any kind of root system to sustain them. And there's that tree there. We'll get a closer look at that in just a minute. Here's the real issue here. These are not electric lines. They're telephone and cable. Look at that one. It's broke and went right around the cable. I don't know what, if anything, I'm going to do about that one. Utility might take care of that. We got a couple of snapped ones up there on the hill that I can see. I'll have to get up there later. I'm not real nuts about that big one in the background there leaning. And as you can see, now here it is. This ice storm came through Thursday into Friday. Here we are Monday morning, and these trees are all heavily laden with ice. It was amazing as I came up the road last night how different light was reflecting. It's like you could just feel that something was different in the area. So anyway, got some limbs down there. Got some limbs on the truck over there. Hopefully not too big. I'm going to move that truck because I don't like this tree leaning. What else do we got? So yeah, damage to that tailgate. It pushed it inside the trailer. Usually that thing's standing upright. Looks like it buckled that left, or actually right side of that tailgate there. Yeah, you can see we're dug into the tree. So we'll take a look at that this week. You can see how shallow the roots are on that tree. And as it came down, yeah, it took out the little Kia, which is too bad because that was a nice little car. Yeah, it blew out the back window. I mean, the full weight of it is on that car. His suspension's bottomed out. Yeah, it buckled the roof. Took out the back window. That car's done. That's a shame. As I was telling my friends this morning, we got a big tree on a little car, and then we got a little tree on a big car over there. The Tahoe is buried under what appears to be, I guess, the top of that little tree there, from what I can see. Yeah, stuff bent over back there. Hopefully this is it for the losses. Yeah, that was the big tall tree. We got snapped the top right off it. So that is what it is. We'll be spending some time cutting shit down here. All right, so the young man was just here from the water department. It looks like the shutoff for my building is damaged. They're digging it up right now. If so, what they may have to do is shut the street down. In which case, I'm not going to be able to repair this myself. I'm going to have to call a plumber because they're going to have to, get it capped quick. I am waiting to hear from them right now, though. That's why I interrupted the video outside. We'll take a further look outside. I'll try and get up on the hill when I'm done messing around with this stuff. Okay. All right, a little update. We're on about somewhere around 2.5 to 3 hours. Those poor guys are out in the back road there trying to repair or do something so they don't have to shut the whole street down. But in the meantime, I went ahead and chiseled my concrete out. I've got this accessible so that once they shut, if they do have to shut the street off, I can just pull the meter up. I've got it split off the building with a shut-off valve. All I have to do is pull that meter up, pull that PVC pipe out of there, run my repair, and get things back flowing again. Sounds all so easy. Oh, Cancun, how I miss you so. All right, there's what we got. 3/4 inch feed pipe coming up, which went to a threaded. I had on the end of that a shark bite, and basically what happened is it froze and it blew the shark bite apart, which that's a first. But I put that shark bite in there, I don't know, a decade ago. So let's get to fixing this. All right, well, looks like we're back in action. Just had to replace that fitting right down there that got busted. Just got in touch with the water department, although they are busy. At some point they'll come turn me back on and we'll just double check. Put an extra shut off there. I replaced a section of pipe behind my toolbox, which has got insulation around it now, but I replaced that with some PEX. And that should be it. On to the next saga. I guess we need to start pushing some water out of here. Well, I'd like to say something like it's good to be back, but holy hell. That was the longest 12 hours of my life. That was a long day. But as you can see, we got rid of a lot of the original copper piping that was in the building. Several pipes froze. I converted about 90% of it now in the shop area into PEX, which is at least a little bit more forgiving. We got that all squared away there. Water's back on. PEX down and around. All right, let's see if we can get everything back into place and maybe get some rest. All right, to be continued, because we got a lot of tree cutting to do. But it looks like it's going to get up into the 40s this week, which will at least get rid of the coating of ice that is on literally everything outdoors. All right, it's Tuesday morning. Monday got a little bit too preoccupied with plumbing repairs. And I got interrupted when I was doing these outside videos. Oh, crap, I was just about to say I want to take a walk up on the hill. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I was going through all this stuff here when I was interrupted yesterday. Well, things will start melting today. We'll get a better idea of what kind of damage. I really want to get up on the hill, though. Let me put the camera down for a minute and see if I can scale this hill. Hopefully I won't bust my ass. God, what a mess. It's crazy because all you hear are little icicles falling. You know, the sun is just coming out. It's about a little after 9 a.m. And the melt is on. Ah, yeah. Yeah, we got a tree on top of Kelly's trailer. And one absolutely hanging over mine. Oh boy. And this is a different tree. I thought this was the top of that big one. Get rid of this. Wow. least these trees will get some relief today. I mean, the sun is just cooking all the ice off. I'm hoping that didn't do any serious damage. You know, I'm gonna have to get her to get the keys. I'm gonna have to get on top of that at some point. What an absolute disaster. Some limb. We got limbs. Amazing how quickly everything is melting now. We got some limbs on top of just about every trailer here, so we'll see what we get. When these are all melted and there's some relief on them, I'm gonna have to get up on it. That's the biggest issue, the one on Kelly's trailer. All right. Wow. Just wow. People, spring fever. Smitty at the shop. Trees, trees, trees. That's always the case. We got some spring cleaning up to do. Trees that are gonna have to come down. Oh, that mess there has to come down. There's a tree that fell down. You see the back of it right there, destroyed a car. So we want to try and eliminate some of that in the future. We've got that ice storm that came through in February has just, it left the area in pretty rough shape. Let's take a walk up the hill real quick. I had to yank that limb down yesterday. The rest of that tree has to come down. And we're just going to clean up this area here. All along here needs to be cleaned up. All along this side needs to be cleaned up. You can see just everywhere you look, it's just chunks of tree. It just gets so overgrown up here. All of that little stuff there has got to come down. We're just going to clean, you know, inside the perimeter of this fenced area. This one came down in that storm. Cutting that up just to give you an idea what kind of mess we'll be dealing with here. We're gonna give the skid steer a workout for sure. Yeah, all got to be cleaned up. Oh, Lord. It never ends. But here's what happens. You get a tree like that hanging over, or like this one, and the top of it snaps and damages the trailer. So the trailers are gonna have to come down off the hill. That should be going to the crusher today. Trailers have to come down off the hill. And yeah, clean this whole area up with the skid steer, get it back down to gravel. All right, let's see what we got. All right, the first official job of the skid steer underway. Just cleaning up the top of the hill here. Next step will be to move the trailers out of the way. I'll shuffle them over, clean up that area there. I'm gonna clean up this tree line a little bit too. Everything's cleaned up. Just around here, we'll continue that. So here's what we got. We had one log that torpedoed in over there. That's actually in the back of my truck now. One went straight through the vent, and then the rest went straight through there. A disappointment. You And then some debris. A little bit of debris, but nothing serious. I can't even believe this because it's like half the friggin' tree is in here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different logs. All came through that same hole. Fucking nuts. All right, well, here's the task at hand this morning. Remove one said dead tree from Sully's trailer. And then we'll see what we can, Jesus, we'll see what we can do about sealing this thing up some. Against my advice, Brian, we're gonna try and patch this up for you and get it watertight. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that mattress and box spring and then obviously the dead tree. Well, we got a good amount of this cleaned out. It's gonna do one final sweep. And I just wanna point this out again. You know, despite the car, I mean, obviously that was the roof vent, so that got damaged. You know, they're only plastic. But there's the primary hole. That's a pallet above it, by the way, because I had it tarped. I put a pallet up there, put a tarp over it, just keep the water running off it. But look at the size of that hole. I mean, it's not huge. It's probably, 12 by 12, let's say, really. It'd be beautiful blue sky today. And for the amount of tree, you had those big chunks there, you know, miscellaneous stuff. That chunk there, which is about another 2 foot longer. You can't see it because it's under the mattress now. And you had that piece there, which is still stuck in the mattress. And then a couple other, that was the biggest one. I mean, these two here, they must have literally torpedoed through the roof of that. Because had they hit sideways, I would think the damage would have been much more extensive. Just absolutely crazy. Just one of those things. You can't see the tree. It's in my neighbor's yard, but the top of it broke off and torpedoed through the trailer. All right, one final cleanup, and then we'll rummage through this stuff and load up what's good and finish throwing out what's bad. And then we're gonna figure out how to put some aluminum up on that roof and seal this thing, make it weather tight again.